It's very simple to work with the calendar, and it's very easy to add events. Here I'm logged in, and I am on the event calendar page. And here we currently have no events to display. And essentially the way the event calendar works is that it simply lists chronologically the events that you've added to the calendar. Once that date of the event is passed, it removes itself automatically from the calendar and from view. Here, if you noticed, while logged in, I have a little edit icon down here. I'm going to click that. That takes me into the actual events page, the content that you saw at the top. The program that is the event calendar is actually here. If you modify this page in any way, shape, or form by adding links to this text here or expanding this text, you need to make sure that this, as it is, stays and does not get affected. But let's actually go to the events calendar. Over here on the side, we notice here we have events. Let's click. And we can see a very simple entry form for adding our events. Here we see grayed out all the past events and test events that we've had within the site. And when they're no longer necessary and we won't reuse them, we should delete them. Save space and it'll help you keep your site organized. These were tests, so I can simply delete. This screen will update on its own automatically. Here you can see the variety of events that I used to test the site and the functionality of this calendar. But let's create one. On your site, in your dynamic sidebar, which we can see under Ministries, to the right, the Facebook application that runs, that shows the activity that's going on within your Facebook site. I'm going to use this event that's already passed, the Keep Common Push, to show you how this can work and how you drive traffic between your Facebook and your website. This is a strategy that you'll want to use effectively when working with social media. Very simple. I'm going to click here to actually go to that site, your Facebook site and your Facebook post, to see the information. I've already done it, but I've downloaded this image as well as I've copied this content that you've had posted here. And we'll use that for the event post. So I'll go to my hard drive. And here I have a folder called Events Post. And when you work, you may want to work in the same fashion. Have the image that I'm going to associate with the content I'm going to create, as well as I have a text document that has my copy. And this is how you guys can work and create offline content, review, clean everything up before you actually post to the site. It's a very simple way to work. This document could either be a Word document or an Excel document with a table. So I'm going to go back to the site. I'm going to go to the dashboard by clicking up here. I'm going to go to Events. I'm going to create a new event. And as you notice, you can see the entry information for the calendar. That event is already passed, but we're going to do this as a test. Today's date is November 10th. The end date of this event is November 10th. I'm going to go back to my hard drive and open up the text document. I'm going to copy the title and paste. Go back to my document, get my content, there's the description. I can choose to give this a label, and giving it a label is just like putting it in a category with posts. I can find it later when I go to sort, which you can see down here, and easily remove events. I can also use that tag that you saw on our events page that said events in the brackets, and I can put modifiers there and copy that same calendar functionality to another page. But we won't get into that. That's for advanced usage. If there's a URL associated with this event, I can post it here, or paste it there. So I'm going to go back and get the Facebook URL. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it here. I can also put the location as well as the location URL if there's a website that's associated with the address. And remember, whenever we label addresses, we always want to give the full address just in case. And I'm going to save that event. Now, just as easily as I put the event URL here, I could have also made a post and formatted that post however I wanted it to appear and inserted the link to that post here. Let's go take a look at the calendar. We still have no events to display. We're going to go back and double check our date just to make sure it's before this actual due date. And I'm thinking because we put the due date as today, it didn't show anymore. So we're going to events. We're going to change this date here, start date to the 11th, and we're going to end it on the 11th. And let's save the event. Oh, I know what may have happened. I don't think I saved the event. And see, that's something to actually make note of. If you don't save and update in the areas that are necessary, you can lose your content. And that's why it's also helpful to work. That's why it's also important to work, as I showed you, with a text document outside of WordPress, and you can copy and paste content just to avoid mistakes like this. So I'm going to do this process one more time. We're going to call it, oops. We're going to get our title. We're going to get our copy or our description. Although our date is passed, we're not going to use that information, which we would control here, because we're doing this as a demonstration. We're going to copy that for the address. And again, since I'm doing this again, I won't do it this time, but we should always put full address information. If there's a URL or a website associated with the event, which we have here from our Facebook, we'll copy that because we want to drive people to the Facebook post. And we'll post that there. And again, as I mentioned before, this URL could also be a post within the site that may have more information. We could give it a label to keep it organized, but for now we won't. If there's a URL associated with the location, we could actually use the church's URL. We click Save the Event, which is the mistake that we made before. Let's scroll down. Oh, we did do that. I apologize. We don't need these. These are all redundant. So we'll just delete the ones we don't need since they're duplicates. Keep the one we need. And just modify. If we click that icon, it takes us into actually edit the post information. And again, we'll try this. We'll change the date till tomorrow. Update the event. It says tomorrow here from 9:45 to 10:45. And we would change that information in here. And unfortunately, we have to use the 24-hour clock for military time. Let's go to the event calendar again. No events to display. Now this is an interesting thing that happens with WordPress. Since it's done over the web, there's an issue of caching that happens, which means when content is actually updated on your site, it may not immediately deploy to your web browser. The way that you can fix that is by emptying the cache of your browser, or resetting your browser if you use Safari, and clearing all the content. I'm going to say reset. It's going to open again. I'm going to go to the website again. I'm going to go to the event calendar, and then I see my post. I can tweet this out and share this with anyone of my friends or whatever membership groups I am of the Twitter community. And that's how you work with the event calendar. Again, keep that in mind. If you don't see an immediate update, because WordPress is internet-based, your browser's web cache, which is saved an earlier version or a snapshot of your page, may not be updating. Empty the cache in those cases and restart your browser. It's an unfortunate error for WordPress, but with the amount of ability it gives you, it's a small inconvenience to live with.